Is Riverbend one of New Orleans' most underrated neighborhoods? Some people say it's the best kept secret near Uptown. Others say it's just too far out. So, what's the real story? Hey, and welcome to Living in New Orleans. If this is your first time on the channel and you want to know everything about living in New Orleans and the surrounding neighborhoods, hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you never miss an update. My name is Margaret, and I was born and raised right here in New Orleans. My husband Bernard and I love helping people make their move to New Orleans. And whether that's in 9 days or 90 days, feel free to reach out. All of our contact info is in the description, and we'd be happy to help you make a smooth move to the Big Easy. Riverbend is home to Oak Street, one of the most vibrant corridors of the city. At the heart of it is the iconic Maple Leaf Bar, a legendary venue for live music where you might catch anything from brass bands to funk, reggae, or jazz, local jazz fusion. But Oak Street isn't just about nightlife. It's lined with colorful murals, sidewalk cafes, independent bookstores, and even the occasional pop-up art market. The vibe is hyper-local and proud, where creatives, students, families, and long-time residents all share the sidewalks. Oak Street hosts events like the Oak Street Poor Boy Festival and weekly music nights that feel more like a neighborhood block party than a commercial event. It's the kind of place where you can walk out your front door and run into somebody playing a trumpet or giving away garden veggies. Compared to other entertainment corridors in New Orleans, Oak feels more intimate, less commercialized, it has roots, and if you're someone who values living in a neighborhood with character and daily doses of creativity, Riverbend truly delivers. And it's not just Oak Street. The surrounding residential blocks are filled with front porch jam sessions, informal art exhibits, and a sense of shared culture that builds community. It's one of those rare places where music, food, and art aren't just part of weekend plans, they're part of everyday life. That rhythm of daily joy is something buyers fall in love with here. The Riverbend food scene is a local favorite for a good reason. It's diverse, high quality, and full of soul. Within a few blocks, you can find everything from elevated Creole classics at Jacquemo's to home-style Lebanese at Lebanon's Cafe, the legendary vegan baked goods at Breads on Oak. It's unusually concentrated food hub for a residential part of town. Whether you're dining in or taking out, there's always something exciting to try. But it's not just about the food, it's about the culture around food. Riverbend is home for Chef Frank Brightson, whose cozy James Beard winning restaurant sits tucked away like a culinary secret. His classes are local legend. He once taught me how to make a roux in under 10 minutes, and I still think about that every time I cook gumbo. Even if you're more of a home chef, the nearby Crescent City Farmers Market and smaller pop-ups give you access to the kind of seasonal ingredients and heritage foods that fuel New Orleans cuisine. Dining here is both ritual and revelation, and Riverbend offers the perfect table for that story. You'll also find plenty of breakfast and lunch spots, coffee roasters, and grab-and-go counters that make weekday living easier. The culinary culture here isn't just for special occasions. It's built into your everyday rhythm. One of Riverbend's most enduring strengths is its village-like atmosphere. The streets are lined with live oaks, and on any given afternoon you'll see kids riding bikes, couples walking dogs, and neighbors chatting from porch to porch. It's the kind of place where people still say good morning and mean it. Despite being in a major city, Riverbend feels human scaled, like a small town tucked into a bend of the river. It's also a great place to raise a family. The standout school here is Lycée Français de la Nouvelle-Orléans, which offers the full French baccalaureate program from kindergarten through high school. This kind of education is rare even in major international cities, and it brings a diverse mix of families. You're also close to multiple playgrounds, public parks, and weekend destinations. It's walkable not just in distance, but in pace. It supports slow mornings and intentional living. You don't have to schedule community, you just live in it. And for those of us who prioritize safety, local business, and a sense of neighborhood identity, this kind of everyday ease is gold. Riverbend is the final stop on St. Charles Avenue on the St. Charles Avenue streetcar line, which connects you directly to Uptown, the Garden District, the Central Business District, and beyond. The streetcar isn't just functional, it's iconic. It's a piece of New Orleans history that also makes your commute charming and efficient. Whether you're heading downtown or just hopping off a few stops early for coffee, it makes getting around both simple and scenic. But what really sets Riverbend apart is the amount of green space. You're minutes from Audubon Park, the Mississippi River levee, and walking paths that offer great refuge just steps away from your door. Whether you like to run, stroll with your dog, or sip coffee while watching the barges roll by, the levee makes that possible. The connectivity to nature here is rare in such a well-developed area. It changes the way you live. It gives you options to unplug and unwind without getting in your car. That kind of luxury, proximity to both culture and calm, is what makes Riverbend stand out. Con number 1, you're almost in Uptown. Riverbend borders Uptown, but depending on how you define it, you may find yourself slightly outside the traditional action. That can be a blessing or a drawback. You're not within easy walking distance to Magazine Street, Whole Foods, or some of the more bustling restaurant zones for Uptown. For some people, this matters a lot. For others, it just means fewer tourists and more breathing room. The upside is peace and quiet, but the trade-off is convenience. You might find yourself driving a bit more than you'd like, especially if you're coming from a truly walkable part of town. That being said, the streetcar helps soften the blow. Still, if you're the kind of person who likes to step out your front door and have a dozen restaurants, boutiques, or a grocery store within 5 minutes, Riverbend might feel like it's just a little too far removed. And for those who rely on foot traffic for business or want to feel like they're in the middle of it all, this could be a deal breaker. But for many others, that slight remove is exactly what makes Riverbend feel like home. Con number 2, narrow streets and limited parking. Riverbend is an old neighborhood, and many of its streets reflect that. They're narrow, winding, and not built for modern traffic or oversized vehicles. Parking can be a real issue, especially around Oak Street on weekends or when events like the Pool Boy Fest are in full swing. If you don't have a driveway or off-street parking, expect to circle the block. Visitors sometimes struggle to find parking, especially during peak dining hours or sunny festival days. And if you rely on street parking daily, weather events or trash pickup days can add extra headaches. Some blocks are better than others, and some homes do have parking pads or rear access, but it's not the norm. This is something to keep in mind, especially if you're moving from a suburban or more car-friendly environment. You'll either adapt or learn to really value a good pair of walking shoes. And for those used to deliveries, guests, or quick errands by car, this can add unexpected stress to daily life. Con number 3, mix of old and new. The architectural mix in Riverbend is both part of its charm and part of its challenge. You'll find everything from perfectly restored craftsman-style homes to properties that haven't been touched in decades. That kind of variety can create a beautiful mosaic, but it can also make block-by-block value assessments tricky. You might fall in love with a house only to realize the one next door has major structural issues or hasn't been updated since the 1950s. For buyers who are open to renovation or who value architectural diversity, this can be exciting. But for others looking for consistency or turnkey homes, it may feel overwhelming. It's also not unusual for two similar-sized houses on the same block to be priced very differently depending on their condition. You really need to visit the area in person to understand how different each street feels. And it's worth walking the neighborhood at different times of day to get a feel for lighting, noise, and traffic. Con number 4, flood risk varies. While Riverbend sits on relatively high ground compared to many parts of New Orleans, not all streets are created equal. Some areas near the levee have excellent elevation and drainage. Others, especially near lower-lying intersections, can collect water during heavy rains. Drainage in New Orleans is a citywide issue, but in Riverbend, the variation can be significant within just a few blocks. Flood insurance is a reality here, and while some properties qualify for favorable rates, others do not. It's crucial to review the base flood elevation and request an elevation certificate before making an offer. That little bit of research could save you thousands per year and protect your investment. Even newer renovations aren't immune. Just because a house looks great inside doesn't mean it's elevated property. The good news is many homes are raised, and the levee itself offers peace of mind. But as with any New Orleans neighborhood, you do your homework when it comes to water. If Carrollton Riverbend sounds like a place you could call home, let us know in your comments, or just reach out directly using the link below. And in the next video, we're heading downriver to explore Bywater, an artsy, historic, and ever-evolving neighborhood known for colorful homes, creative vibes, and one of the best riverfront parks in the city. So stay tuned, and we'll see you there.